Hey everyone, so this week I'm going to be debuting the last of my new series, and I'll be doing that with the Hot Toys Spider-Man Homecoming figure, so let's get right into it. So I'm calling the series for today and for this week Museum Pose Mondays. So as we all know, sometimes figures don't have the best mobility, and if we want to preserve the figure as much as we can, we tend to have to leave them in a not so dynamic and sometimes not so eye-grabbing pose. So what we'll be doing is posing figures in a way that doesn't strain the figure too much, but still looks great in your display. And what a better way to start that than by using the Spider-Man Homecoming figure. With this figure and pose, there's not much to strain or worry about, and it really gives off Homecoming vibes, especially for the scene where he's stopping the robbers right at the start of the movie. The most we're doing here is turning the thigh and slightly bending the knee to be in front of the other leg. And this is going to come back around for other poses, so just keep that in mind. Then for the upper body, bend the elbow slightly to your comfort level. Keep an eye on where exactly the bend is, and try to bend the elbows in a way where the black strip on the forearm isn't being directly affected. This will be the safest way to prevent permanent creasing in that area. But other than this, the red fabric part of the suit and the blue will go back to normal after a while when bringing the arms right back down. Another cool thing you can do if you have the deluxe version is use the stand as a support for Spidey to lean on. I also personally chose to toss his jacket and backpack up on the stand to make it a bit more presentable, and so I don't have all these accessories just stuffed away in a box somewhere. This next one is also reminiscent of Homecoming, and it's when Peter is locked inside that warehouse or whatever it was. And as we take a closer look, you can see that this pose puts very little to no strain on the actual suit. Besides putting the arms out almost shoulder level, we're again going to twist the thigh of the figure to get a realistic walking and kind of balancing motion. Something that helped me personally was to look up photos of tightrope walkers and trying to mimic their stance. Now, because I personally was only using this pose for the video, I used tape and some thread, which I attached under his neck to keep him upright. And for the web itself, I did a very rushed version of what many other collectors, such as Posing with Peter, have done to create this faux web type accessory. You could definitely make it look a lot better if you check out his video, but for the purpose of my video, as I said, I kind of rushed it. After this, I just made a few adjustments to make sure he wasn't leaning too much off to the side, and I had my pose. The next few are much more simple, so it'll be a bit more rapid fire. So again, reminiscent of Homecoming, specifically the poster. Thigh twist again. You guys noticing a little bit of a pattern here? Yeah, so after that, you're going to want to bend to your level of comfort again and place his arm across his stomach. The other hand can be hanging if you have an open display and you choose to have them on the edge, or you could use that front arm to bend and leave the other arm just on the side, just straight and relaxed. And if you have the deluxe version, awesome. You guys can prop his head up with his backpack and use the mask or book in one of the slightly open hands and lay it across his stomach just like before. And then finally, the simplest pose is just an upright stance, but with the head sculpt looking at his hand, which is holding the mask. Simple, yet expresses a sense of purpose and understanding. I like to use this pose a lot for a lot of different characters. Although there's not much going on with this pose, the feelings it evokes are definitely one that you can use for multiple characters, whether it's Black Panther, Spider-Man, like in this case, or even someone like Anakin. As I said, I like to use this pose a lot, and you'll most likely see it come back again when I pose a few other figures. And yeah, those are some easy, little to no strain museum poses you guys can use for the Spider-Man Homecoming figure. I want to try to release a lot more of these videos just to show other collectors out there that a museum pose doesn't have to mean that you just kind of took the figure right out of the box and just plopped it in your display without touching it at all. because you're afraid of damaging the figure at all. I know there's a lot of figures, especially Spider-Man figures, where the material maybe isn't the most forgiving. But like I said, I want to continue this series specifically because there are a bunch of different ways you can definitely get creative with it and push the limits just enough to where it's still a safe pose, but it really ties your collection all together. It really just makes your collection look a lot more presentable and eye-grabbing. Like I said, I'm going to keep trying to do these videos for you guys. If you enjoyed this video and found it at all helpful, let me know in the comments and stay tuned for more content like this. Thank you guys again for everything. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.